Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for coming here. I thought that was a Spielberg line, but no. Are you fucking crazy to come here? There is. Oh, thank you so much, Chris. You're so generous. This is my first talk here in South by Southwest, so thank you so much. I'm very happy and excited to be here with you guys. This is not my native language, but I will do my best. I promise that I will do my best. I am Marcel Nobre. I am from Brazil, an entrepreneur. I am a teacher, a professor for innovation, technology, and AI. I'm a guest expert from CNBC Times Brazil. I'm a speaker, columnist at HSM Management. It's a pleasure to be here. How it works today, we will do a 30-minute talk. I have thoughts to share with you, and then we will build something cool together, something fun together, all of us, and then we will build a collective knowledge just today here. Are you ready? Yes, maybe 10 people are ready. Thank you so much for the 10 people that are ready. So let's take a look in these interesting articles that show us something different than our common reality. Why do so many tech leaders limit their own children exposures to their own technologies? We are emotionally connected with some platforms that are economically optimized for our attention. This is not personal, it's structural. We have many cases of Wow, we have music here. We have some cases that people that worked for big companies, and then they took off of these companies to tell some truth for us, and this is show us something that we be aware. What happens when ethics research challenges corporate priorities? Because responsible AI or responsible technology is not about only tech. It's an institutional one problem. And some of the most powerful people shaping our future are planning and fighting against systemic stability. What could that mean? Maybe they are selling us a plan A while they are plan B for themselves. So it brings us to truth number one. Technology follows incentives, and incentives are rarely aligned with collective well-being. We live in an era that data fuels the global economy. Look at the chart that shows us what happens on the internet in just 30 seconds. This is a website that shows you what happens in internet in real time. So if you want to try it, it's a digitalinformationworld.com. So you can go there, penny stocks, internet in the real time, and it shows you in real time what's happening in the internet. This data that comes from everywhere, from every app and website that you access every day, from every gadget or wearable that we are using in this moment. And every interaction leaves a trace. And trace at scale becomes intelligence. At this right moment, everybody here is carrying some devices that are capturing our data in real time. And when different data systems are combined, it's easier to predict the behavior with high accuracy. Have you noticed that reality is starting to look like science fiction? Well, we just have a contact lens with augmented reality. We have systems capable to decode our dream patterns. And also, we have a wearable that listens everything around you in real time. This is not future, this is already in development. So guys, we've become digital voodoos. Yeah, that's it. That's so funny, but so scary too. Are you agree with me? Yeah? That's it. This is what is happening just now. We leave behavioral traces everywhere. Those traces fuel predictive systems that don't just serve us, but they influence what we see, feel, and sometimes believe. It's not only about to offer you a new product or a discount coupon, but it's about to shape your behavior since now. The most interesting thing here is that people are constructing visible systems, are looking for invisible for themselves. So truth number 2, privacy has shifted from protection to transaction. This is not about your privacy, but your attention is exchanging by profit. This is the market share in the global cloud computing infrastructure, and 3 companies has about 2/3 of all the infrastructure in the world. And cloud computing infrastructure is the backbone of modern society. And when we have this concentration, this creates systemic fragility. This is the US market concentration in Europe, and as you can see, all these American companies has so many power, so many concentration in now these kind of sectors. They were defined as gatekeepers by the European Digital Markets Act regulation. In digital advertising in US, these companies has about 2/3 of the market. So the infrastructure is centralized by cloud infrastructure, and here we have the distribution is centralized too. And when we look to international artificial intelligence, it seems sometimes that it's very decentralized or very democratized, but in real, it's not. When we saw in hardware market share, NVIDIA has about 90%, AMD 7%. So we have only 2 companies that have all the market, the infrastructure market of AI. When you see the applications, about 3 companies has almost all the market in this market too. So the democratization of artificial intelligence doesn't exist anymore. And it brings us to truth number 3. A handful of platforms shapes the flow of the global information. The control of information today is less about ownership and more about mediation. Yeah, we have to have this talk, this small talk, because we need to stop to romanticizing AI. AI still doesn't feel, doesn't think, has no autonomy, has no feeling, doesn't disobey. It's a very good, important part for creativity. It's basically a meat grinder. Depends what you put inside, go outside in the other side. Technically, it's a word combinator based on probability. This is an issue? Is this an issue? No, but we are using this meat grinder as a therapist. This is a chart that shows us the 3 most common uses Gen AI use in the world. The first one, therapy and companionship. The second one, organizing my life. And the third one, finding purpose. This is a global research. So we are using a meat grinder as a therapist. And when it goes wrong, we blame the tool. AI tools are created to define questions, for defined tasks, not for comprehensive and empathy questions. So this Stanford report shows us that there is some risks in AI mental health tools. They weren't created for this use, but we are using it anyway. And AI can simulate empathy, can simulate feelings, but definitely it doesn't feel. It doesn't have empathy. It only wants to flatter you, only to maintain you more time in the tools. This is an interesting case from the researcher and co-founder of Good Start Labs, Alex Duffy. And he created a digital version of the board game Diplomacy. Do you know Diplomacy game? Yeah? Yeah? So he did a digital twin of Diplomacy game. And who doesn't know about this game? In this game, each move depends on negotiation, alliance, and when convenient, calculated betrayals. He pitted 7 AI models against each other in 15 matches that during about lasted up to 36 hours. Guess who was the winner? More betrayal, convenience. Guess who? ChatGPT 03. It was the winner of a game that you have to negotiate with another players. So we realized that each AI has its own personality. So ChatGPT, liar and manipulator. Cloud Anthropic, the peacemaker. Oh! And DeepSeek, a multipolar. That's me. So the question is, are these AIs that serve your customers, organize your projects, and help with strategic decisions? So the most interesting thing here is that each AI has their own personality. Truth number 4, AI is not your friend, it's an optimization engine. So we have to, it's not about the tool, it's about what we are doing with these tools. Here I have some articles that show us that just a few likes can say more about you than you can realize. With just 70 likes, Facebook can outperform your coworkers, 150 likes your family members, and 300 likes outperforms spouse in accuracy. GPT-4o and Cloud 3 Opus and Humanity Express and the Personality Map System has predicted correlations between personality items with greater accuracy than humans and most experts. So we have a Centaur care model trainer with data from 10 million human decisions. So the prediction is shifting from reactive to anticipatory. I did a task for my ChatGPT, and I asked for him to try to find some blind spots that I couldn't see yet. And the most interesting thing, as you know, he tries to flatter me and to be soft with me. I don't know if your ChatGPT does it with you. But I asked him to be tough, to be harder and deeply with his analysis, and the results were very interesting. So it brings us to truth number 5, AI models you through your data. It's not about a system that is equal for everybody, but it shapes everyone with this kind of model of thinking. Quick question here. Who has read the ChatGPT terms and conditions of use? Please raise your hand. It's Beyoncé. Oh, yeah, more or less nobody. But at least you asked to him to do a summary for you, no? Who did it? Oh my God. So do this. It's very important. Well, there is many studies and many researches that show us that reduced attention span and compulsive behavior among young people, and not only among young people, because we are increasing our consume of shorter content. We just read headlines. We want to summarize everything. You receive a report, a staff for the report with 200 pages, and you put just only in ChatGPT, okay, give me in 1 minute speech this kind of stuff. And this prolonged usage of social media is associated with difficulty maintaining focus, about 68% and emotional fatigue and addiction-like behaviors. We are just being shaped by the technology. And this quick content reduces sustained attention and increases superficiality. And it shows, these studies show us the screen time paradox. The superficiality of digital reading is eroding deep comprehension. So how you have a high stimulation content, it's shortening, it's cutting our deep comprehension and our attention. Fragmented attention and digital multitasking reduce our cognitive focus too. So, only to know, we check it in average 150 times our phone in the same day. And sometimes you are doing nothing and you just take your phone to check. This kind of attention is fragmenting our deep comprehension. I don't know if you know, but who here guess how much time well-being can maintain your focus attention span? How much? 2 seconds. 2 seconds. Oh, almost there. 8 seconds. Only 8 seconds. And goldfish? 9. So you never look at a goldfish at this way again. And AI, when we delegate our cognitive tasks and our creativity to AI, it reduces our critical thinking, our capability of deep comprehension. This is another study that shows us that your brain on ChatGPT, accumulation of cognitive depth when you use AI assistant for easy written tasks. There was a drop of 32% in germinal cognitive load, impairing learning integration and retention capacity. So, even after discontinuing using AI, participants continue to have reduced brain activity. So this is a way that we can go back again. When you use these technologies to do the cognitive or creative stuff for you, you are just trying to move your human side to a machine. And it's dangerous, because maybe you are turning in a machine and turning your AI in a human. And I think that we are changing this kind of stuff, and it's very dangerous for us. Because if you are robotic human, maybe you'll be replaced for a human robotic. And access to knowledge has never been easier, so I'm selling this keyboard. If you want, you can, it's a joke. But nowadays, it's almost like this. You go to ChatGPT, copy and paste, and we have a good writer here with an email, with an interesting email that everybody wants to read. So we can now simulate expertise before we've built experience. And this is another dangerous thing to do yet. So truth number 6, technology is changing our cognitive patterns. Netflix is almost the largest data company in the world. And this chart shows us that when you've been hooked in each series that you have here. So if you saw Better Call Saul, maybe you've been hooked in the 4th episode. House of Cards, the 3rd episode. Orange is the New Black, the 3rd episode. And they have so many informations that algorithms generates about $1 billion in annual savings through customer retention. It's not about only to sell your some subscriptions, but to maintaining you watching more and more. Just 20% of all the content in Netflix is watched by a person that decided what to watch, because 8% on the content watched is recommendation of the system. And they just know that between 60 and 90 seconds, you have to decide whether or not to watch something in the platform. And you have only 1.8 seconds to decide when you look for a thumbnail read the first sentence, and then it's on average 1.8 seconds that you decide to watch or not to watch a series. So Netflix nowadays is responsible for data circulating on the internet worldwide, about 13.75% of all the flow in the internet. YouTube has over 70% of viewing time is through videos recommended by its algorithm. So 70%. There is somebody deciding and choosing for you what you will watch. TikTok analyzes thousands of signals to instantly adjust each user's feed. So the algorithm doesn't tell you what to think, but it influences what you see. And what you see influences what you think. So not directly, but in the same way, the algorithm is choosing to you what you think. And in the first time, the data was used to offer you a product and then to influence you. But what happens when this infrastructure is used for political environment? So I recommend to you to see the great hack on Netflix that show us the Cambridge Analytica scandal with Meta, that show us that it's not about only attention or only to sell products, only to sell more, only to profit, but maybe to trying to change the reality for each one. Are we becoming digital puppets? Because what we see is filtered before we choose. It brings us to truth number 7. Personalization is reshaping human choice. It's not only, oh, very good. It knows who I am and what I want. Maybe not. Platforms don't just respond to desire, they participate in this formation. This is a flow that shows us this dynamic is known as behavior modeling or adaptive filtering. So, platforms don't simply respond to your requests. To do this, they model your behavior, identify patterns, and over time, repeated exposure reinforces certain interests while reducing others' interests. What feels like spontaneous desire may be shaped by sustained algorithmic reinforcement. We live in a monetization of attention era that is creating in us an algorithmic anxiety. And we have some articles here that show us that TikTok influencers have triggered impulse purchases for about 54% of users. Amazon's recommendation systems are based less on you search and more on global behavior patterns. So maybe they can predict your next purchase, not because you searched for it, but there is somebody, it seems like you in another part of the world that has the same behavior, so they just know that your next step will buy something different. Here we have some articles too that show us that repeated algorithmic exposure alters preference formation. It's not conspiracy, it's a business model. So it's not about not to use the technology. It's about to know how to use technology, knowing their side effects, and trying to be aware of this. So the systems are designed to maximize engagement and revenue, not to help it solve your problems. And the truth number 8 is desire is now engineered. It's not about your desire, but what they want you to desire. And back to Netflix, we see different apps in our phones or in our websites or in our TV. Because Netflix knows you better than yourself. So if you like more suspense series or movies, they will put a thumbnail of Stranger Things. that show you more a suspense image. But if you prefer romantic movies, they will put a romantic thumbnail for you. So everybody here has a different Netflix timeline, you know? And not only Netflix, content is the same for everyone, but perception is personalized. It's not all the same. So maybe we have different perceptions from the same content. In Netflix adjusts the thumbnail and text of each series according to each user's preferences. And if you don't choose that series, they exchange the thumbnail and the text many times until you choose to watch this. And this choice of image can increase the click-through rate by up to 20 or 30%. It's a very huge results for Netflix. And recommendation systems amplify extremes. So YouTube has nowadays 1.5 billion active users. It's 70% are recommended videos. So only 30% are choosing what they are watching in the platform. And even users watching neutral or harmless content are quickly directed to conspiracy, polarized, or extreme viewpoints. Reports from the Mozilla indicate that YouTube's algorithm gives us little real control to filter unwanted videos. So we live in parallel realities. It's sad, but we are not in the same world. It seems that we are in different worlds, and we will have elections this year, the end of this year in Brazil. So we are just preparing to fight against our best friends. It's sad, but it's that reality. Over time, personalization can reduce shared exposure and fragment the collective experience of reality for each one. So the truth number 9 is that personalization fragments shared reality. And the last one is the obsession with eliminating friction. So you don't need more to memorize a password. You have just to tap your card. In China, you can do it with your hands. This Amazon Go, that you have only to take your stuffs and go away. You have a electronic, automatic being the Google or all the platforms try to find your next word. You don't have it to write. They are trying to do autocomplete, trying to complete your words. We have hand payment in China. We have a voice controlling systems. We have a automatic robot. Who here has the automatic cleaner robot? Please raise your hand. Okay, your robot knows your home better than you. Each electrodomestic that you have in your home, your robot knows the brand and which kind of content you see on your TV. Our toothbrush is automatic too. So this is dangerous because less we decide, more the system decides for us. This is cutting our autonomy. So it's very good. And all the apps that you have in your phone promise it to you more time. But do you have more time nowadays than 15 years ago? What? Where is the time that these apps promise it to you? So we live in the paradox of convenience. Easier it is, the less conscious choices there is. And there is some articles here. The human brain tends to conserve cognitive energy. Algorithms reduce the range of options and reinforce habits. Convenience reshapes our sense of need. Recommendation systems shape preference. They don't just reflect them. Voice assistants and zero-friction interfaces reduce conscious decision-making. So we have so many articles, researches, news, showing us that we have to get back our agents for our choices. Because convenience is replacing choice. Where thinking becomes effort, algorithms decides for you. And it brings us to the last truth number 10. That is the price of convenience is our autonomy. Yeah, that's it. It's okay. Everybody's okay? Yeah? Okay, Marcel, so what do we do now? Throw away my mobile? No, you don't need to do this. But maybe you can do the 4 A's of digital agents that I bring to you. The first A is awareness. So we are doing it just now here. We have to understand how the system shapes your attention, choices, and behavior. And the first step, yeah, you are here, so congratulations. The second one is architecture. We design your digital environment so it works for you, not against for you. So turn off the notifications. Try to have the agents of your choices. Don't be manipulated to the recommendations that the platforms do for you. The 3A is agents. Choose deliberately instead of reacting automatically and go beyond your bubble. We have to choose what we want to see, who we want to talk. And the 4A is advocacy. And this is the toughest one. Because we use the technologies that's most comfortable for us. It's easier for us. Because about the UX for us. But we have to choose to support and demand technologies that's aligned with human well-being. We had a very important case here in US with Anthropic and another. We have to choose the companies that are not interested about only profit, but are interested in well-being. Okay, that's good? Yeah? Everybody's, calm down, let's build something fun together. So don't forget to leave your feedback on South by Southwest Go. If it's good, they might invite me back in 27. So thank you so much for coming. See you next.